Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who taught me this truth. And a sincere salutations to the Tabernacle of David, you Akim pushing this truth to the four corners of the earth in all truth, faith, and sincerity. Risking and putting your lives on the line daily for the names Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. And a healthy shalom to the Akwath who are also listening and learning. It's Zakaria. I'm coming at you with another lesson, and Lord's willing, it's going to be edifying. So I'm pretty sure everyone has already heard about the Silicon Valley Bank collapse. And I just wanted to touch on this article that I read from the New York Times, which I thought was very edifying. And Lord's willing to be edifying into the hopeful elect. Silicon Valley Bank's collapse causes startup chaos. Ashley Turner opened an account with Silicon Valley Bank for her company, Farmbox RX, 2 years ago. She was setting out to raise venture capital and knew the bank was a go-to for the startup industry. On Thursday, after reading about financial instability at the bank, she rushed to move Farmbox RX's money into 2 other bank accounts. Her wire transfer didn't go through, and on Friday, Silicon Valley Bank collapsed, tying up cash totaling 8 figures for her company, which delivers food to Medicare and Medicaid patients. None of my reps will call me back, Miss Turner said. It's the worst 24 hours of my life. All right, let's grab a quick precept. This is Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 11. It reads, "How, ye inhabitants of Mektesh." What's Mektesh? It's an ancient dwelling place of the merchants, okay? It reads, "For all the merchant people are cut down." Right, all the, people and companies involved in wholesale trade, the buyers and sellers of commodities, the Lord is cutting them down. Okay. He's bringing this thing to an halt. Okay. He's wiping away the pride, the haughtiness, okay, of the people. He's doing what he said that he would do. All right. He's cutting them down. Everything was good just a week ago, huh? Y'all people, the Lord is going to bring y'all people to reality and realize that the prophets out there on them street corners had warned y'all, but y'all didn't take heed. But anyway, it reads, "How, you inhabitants of Mektesh, for all the merchant people are cut down. All they that bear silver are cut off." Right. Your silver, your gold, your American dollar, your ruble, your yuan, your crypto. The Lord is cutting all that. Is going to bring all that to an end. And it wasn't going to be able to save you in the day of trouble anyway. Okay? Because pertaining to Jeremiah 30 and 7, Jacob's trouble is on the horizon, a time like never before. And all these so-called currencies, these world currencies, are going to be worthless and brought to naught in that day. Y'all are going to know what it truly means to do without. All right. So let's go back to the article. It reads, none of my reps will call me back, Miss Turner said. It's the worst 24 hours of my life. If only she knew what was coming. Her despair was part of the fallout across the startup ecosystem from the failure of Silicon Valley Bank. Entrepreneurs raced to get loans to make payroll because their money was frozen at the bank. Investors doled out and asked for advice and memos and on emergency conference calls. Lines formed outside the bank's branches, and many in the tech industry were glued to Twitter, where the collapse of a lynching financial partner played out in real time. Whoo! Yapa. This is beautiful. Beautiful, man. It reads, the implosion rattled a startup industry already on edge, hurt by rising interest rates and an economic slowdown over the past year. Startup funding, which had been supercharged by low interest rates for years, has shriveled, resulting in mass layoffs at many young companies. Right. And you see a lot of these young companies laying off, and these well-established companies like Meta, Google, and so forth and so on. Okay. Cost cutting and slashing valuations, investments in U.S. startups dropped 31% last year to 238 billion, according to PitchBook. And remember, okay, what did Klaus Schwab say? Okay, you'll own nothing and be happy. All right, and they're pushing this universal basic income. All right, and the pandemic that happened destroyed most of the middle class. All right, most of the small businesses, and we're living in a time like never before. Okay, we're living in a time where the poor and the super wealthy outnumber the middle class. And you know what that is? That's a recipe for disaster, a recipe for collapse. Okay, and we're telling you that it's coming. Thus saith the Lord. All right, so let's keep going. All right. It says, on top of that, Salakia, let's go down. Let's see where I want to start. It says, all right, Salakia, we can start here. It says Silicon Valley Bank was also a bank more than 2,500 venture capital firms, including Lightspeed, Bain Capital, Insight Partners. Nope, let's keep going. Here we go. It says the bank was systematically important financial institute whose services were immensely enabling for startups, said Matt. It says, and investors at the venture capital firm DCVC. It says on Friday, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation took control of Silicon Valley Bank's $175 billion in customer deposit. Deposits of up to $250,000 were insured by the regulator. And just because it's insured doesn't mean they're going to get that money back. Just because it's these individuals with 250,000 and over in their accounts have insurance on it. There's no telling if they're actually going to even get that back. Honestly, that's the type of world we live in. This whole American dream is a nightmare and a Ponzi scheme. Okay, so it says deposits of the 250,000 were insured by the regulator. Beyond that, customers have received no information on when they will regain access to their money. All right. Now it says that left many of the bank's clients in a bind on Friday. Roku, the TV streaming company, said in a filing that roughly 487 million of its 1.9 billion in cash was tied up with Silicon Valley Bank. The deposits were largely uninsured, Roku said, and it did not know to what extent it would be able to recover them. All right, let's grab a precept. Oh man. Oh, this is beautiful. Let's get it says Isaiah 19 and 15, and it reads, neither shall there be any work for Egypt which the head or the tail, branch or rush may do. Right, man. The Lord is cutting off the jobs, man. He's cutting off the lifelines. All right. And that's not talking about ancient Egypt. Okay. This is talking about spiritual Egypt, spiritual Sodom. All right. Real quick. This is Revelation 8:11 and 8. And it reads, and their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of that great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. And this is talking about America, okay, aka Babylon the Great, okay. And our Lord was crucified. Our Lord was crucified here. The truth about our Lord was crucified here, okay. The truth that our Lord is a so-called black man, okay, from the tribe of Judah, okay. The truth that you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the Lord's chosen people. All right. The truth of the scriptures, okay, was crucified here. All right. That's what it's speaking of. But the Lord is turning things right side up, man. And in order to turn things right side up again, he has to destroy this system, man, and destroy the wicked. Okay. Esau, Edom, pertaining to Malachi 1 and 4. These Edomites and their empire, America, Babylon the Great. Okay. So it says, back to the article. It says, I'm going to read this again because this is beautiful. It says that left many of the bank's clients in a bind on Friday. Roku, the TV streaming company, said in a filing that roughly 487 million of its 1.9 billion in cash was tied up with Silicon Valley banks. Now, imagine how much of that money being lost is going to affect Roku's employees, man, and its business, pertaining to how many people it hires, pertaining to future plans. 487 million, and let's say the insurance kicks in and they get 250,000 of that. That's nothing. This is going to be a trickle down effect, man, across all avenues, man, because a lot of banks are in conjunction with each other and do business together. So this is going to be beautiful, man. Within a couple months, 2 to 3 months, man, we're going to be seeing some crazy shit. So it says the TV streaming company said in a filing that roughly 487 million of its 1.9 billion in cash was tied up with Silicon Valley banks. The deposits were largely uninsured, Roku said, and largely uninsured. So they didn't have a bunch of insurance on, man. Roku said, and it did not know to what extent it would be able to recover them. Okay. Let me see if I want anything more out of this article. Yeah, it says Josh Butler, the chief executive of Comp Science, a workplace safety analytics startup, said he was unable to get his company's money out of the bank on Thursday before the bank's collapse on Friday. The last day, he said, he had been nerve-wracking. Yeah, I bet, man. Because one thing about Esau, Edom, bro, they do not know how to deal with adversity. Jake been living in the slums, in the hood, in the worst place, and we know how to get by. We know how to do without. But these middle class Edomites, bro, they about to lose it. It says, everyone from my investors to my employees to my own mother are reaching out to ask what's going on, Mr. Butler said. The big question is, how soon will we be able to get access to the rest of our funds? How much, if at all? That's absolute scary. Hell yeah, scary. because y'all ain't getting that money back. It says Comp Science was pausing spending on marketing, sales, and hiring until it solved more pressing concerns like making payroll. You see? Comp Science was pausing spending on marketing, sales, and hiring until it solves more pressing concerns like making payroll, Mr. Butler said. He had been prepared for a big crunch given the doom and gloom swirling around the industry, but I didn't listen to what he says. But did I expect it to be Silicon Valley Bank? He said, never. Never. Hey, do anybody besides the elect expect for America, Babylon the Great to be destroyed in the Third World War pertaining to prophecy? They got this same mindset. Never. America will never be destroyed. It's going to come back great. We're just going through a rough patch. Man, this place is through. Anyway, I'm going to end it with this last precept, man. This place is through. This place is through, man. Let's get Ecclesiastes 12 and chapter 3. And it reads, "And the day when the keepers of the house shall trembling," which they are doing now. Okay. These keepers of the house, these elites, these Edomites. Okay. All these people that's well-to-do. You know what I'm saying? It's from the keepers of the house. Now it's trickling down. Okay. So it says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few." Right. And the grinders are cease, man. Okay. Because there's no work for Egypt, man. There's no work for America, Babylon the Great. The grinding, people aren't going to be able to say, yeah, I'm on my grind. I'm getting it. Riding around and I'm getting it. I'm getting the bag. Because the Lord is causing all this to cease. It says, "And the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened." Right. They see no future. It's going to get to a point where these people are going to see no future in this place. They think that, this collapse of Silicon Valley Bank is the worst thing that could ever happen to them. And now they're just waiting to see if they're going to get their money back and things are going to get back to normal. Okay. It's going to come to a point where people are going to realize that things are bad and aren't going to come back to normal. It's just wait. Stay tuned. It says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. Right. When there's no more work out here. Ain't gonna be nobody in the streets. And people are gonna lose all hope, man. We're trying to tell y'all, people are gonna lose all hope. It's about to get bad. It says, when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up early at the voice of the bird. Right. That rooster cock-a-doodle doing, that alarm clock going off. Going online, searching for work, looking for some way to try to make ends meet. To try to survive, man. That's what it's going to come to. Okay. It says, and the daughters of music shall be brought low. So listen, man, these are the times that we're coming into. Beautiful times, man. The Lord is starting to, show himself, visit this place. And the more and more he does that, he's bringing, you people into reality, man, that America is not going to be made great again. All right. This is the end, the countdown to America, Babylon the Great. All right. Lord's willing, this was edifying. Shalom. Wa abad babal.